Hi, I'm Lottie and I have been vegan for over 3 years now, and I find it pretty easy. I think it's alright. I know what I'm doing, but back when I first went vegan, I had no idea whatsoever. I was a full-blown meat eater. I watched Cowspiracy and was like, that's it, I'm going vegan. But I knew no one, none of my family or friends or even acquaintances were vegan. I was just completely on my own, completely clueless, had no idea what I was doing. But today, I don't feel like that anymore. So what I'd like to do is make a video for past me, that little baby beginner vegan. And I want to tell her everything I know now, just to make it a bit easier. Like, you're already doing such a big thing, why make it any harder than it has to be? Number one, there is nothing wrong with being vegan-ish. When you first learn about everything that goes on in the meat industry, in the dairy industry, in the fishing industry, all you want to do is run away and be like, no, 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 no way, I'm not giving them a single penny. But the problem is, you can't just overhaul your life like that in one day. I really tried. Like, the minute I finished watching it, I was like, right, that's it, I'm done, never. But those cravings creep up on you. People have this image of vegans that they're perfect and they never do anything wrong. And if you ever see anybody slipping up or cheating, it's like, oh, so you're not vegan anymore. And it's just like, well, yeah, I am, but you know, I'm on my period. My boyfriend broke up with me. I'm having a bad day. I don't know. Like, I'm drunk. Sometimes you're just not always up to it. And this isn't really me speaking now, 3 years in. This is speaking like a day in, 2 days in, 3 days in. It is so tough because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know where the good stuff is. Like, you just, you know, that first bit is tricky. Just be nice to yourself. Like, it's the morals that stay strong. It's the moral of I don't want to do it. That never goes away. It's more, you know, life gets hard and sometimes you cave. That's okay. One way of being really nice to yourself is to take it in little steps. It can be meat-free Mondays, or vegan on the weekends, or vegan on the weekdays, or it doesn't matter what the rule is. You can make it up, do whatever you want. One of my favorites that I suggest to people is vegan Mondays, because I feel like you have a whole week to prep your meals and decide what you want to eat and test out different recipes, and you have, you know, all that time to really put some love and some thought into it, because you're not going to know everything. You need to learn it all slowly. Whereas I think when people do things like Vegan January, even though it's an amazing movement and I love it, I think it can be overwhelming. You know, you get 2 weeks in, you've eaten everything you knew as vegan food and you don't know anything else, and you just get bored and miserable and a bit like, oh, this is no fun, I'm not up to it, I don't like the taste of it, so I'm just gonna go. It's not about the taste, it's about how good you are at cooking. You learn, you find new restaurants, you get better, it takes time. So give yourself that time, don't be too harsh on yourself. Number 2, focus on food first. You have never had a good vegan meal. You have never found a good vegan restaurant. You have never made really good homemade vegan food. There is so much for you to learn, and it's gonna take time. You need to do your research. And I think food has to come first. Animals and animal byproducts are everywhere. They are in our clothes, our food, our makeup, our toiletries, our cleaning products, our cars, our plastic, our phones, I think. They're everywhere. They're in our English £5 notes. They are unavoidable. Well, they're not unavoidable, you can avoid them, but take things one step at a time. Don't feel like you tell your friends that you're gonna go vegan and that's it. You have to throw out all your leather clothes, you have to throw out your car, you have to, I don't know, you have to never use plastic ever again and only use cruelty-free toiletries, and everything has to go and you have to be a whole new person right now, go. It doesn't work like that, you know? You run out of your shampoo, you Google some cruelty-free ones, you buy them. Maybe you didn't have time to Google it, so you just buy your regular one and Google it next time. Take things slowly. There's a theme here. It is so much more important to take things slowly and do it right, rather than to run at it and be like, I'm gonna be perfect overnight and trip up on your face and look like an idiot. And that just gives vegans a bad name as well, because it makes it seem like this unattainable, perfect thing, and it's not. Like, it's not that difficult. It just takes a bit of research. It's okay, you'll make it. And when you are happy with your food and you've got some good recipes and you've got some good restaurants and you know what you're doing and you're happy in your day to day, there are so many resources to cut out all that other stuff. For alcohol, there are fish guts used in the processing of wine and beer. Very easy way to get around it. When you're out and you're drinking, just get up Barnivore on your phone and just have a quick look. Such an easy search, and it'll let you know if what you want to drink is vegan or not and what things you can drink. Dead simple. For makeup, there are so many different resources out there to find out what makeup is vegan and cruelty-free. And again, you don't have to throw out all your makeup and do it immediately. Like, this doesn't have to matter to you today. It doesn't have to be that big a deal. What you need to do is search cruelty-free, and you need to look at the brand itself, but also the parent company. There are all these massive companies and they are responsible for testing on animals. So even if you can get brands like, I think Urban Decay is one of them, where they're like, we've never tested on animals, but when you read between the lines, they're owned by a company, they're all one company, it's all one thing. So yes, they do test on animals. Toiletries and cleaning products are exactly the same. Just Google it. When you're ready, take your time. There's no rush. We're not going to judge you. Some vegans might, but just ignore them. The nice ones won't judge you. You can get down in bedding, so just don't get that. And with cars, oh my God, it is just riddled throughout cars. You guys, not just the leather seats. But getting a car without leather seats is a nice place to start. Or maybe you just can't afford to make that decision and that's okay. It's all right. Don't stress about it. There are vegans driving around leather cars everywhere. You can't do everything. And then plastic bags. I mean, yeah, there's animals in plastic bags, but oh, there is so much worse than just that. But yeah, maybe don't go plastic free on the same day that you go vegan. That could be quite a lot. But again, when you're comfortable with being vegan, when you know what you're doing, you can go plastic free as well. They're all options, and then you're cutting out the animals. It's like a whole amazing thing. It's totally worth doing. Moral of the story is, don't worry about that stuff too much. Focus on food first. Speaking of food, number 3, there is an alternative for everything. Honest to God, when I first went vegan, I remember walking home from work and had my phone, and it was literally like a little RIP list of the things I couldn't eat. And I was like, am I happy to never eat these things again? And I remember it was like spaghetti bolognese and burritos and mac and cheese and pizza and all this junk food that I was like, it's okay. I'll never eat pizza again for the animals. I was an idiot. I could absolutely eat pizza. You can eat everything. The only thing that I haven't been able to find a replacement for is steak, but they're working on it. They're lab growing it. And lobster, you know, like when you properly crack it apart. But again, I think they'll lab grow them. I think we're gonna be, honestly, I just don't even think there's anything we can't have. Some recent favorites have been vegan sushi. Oh my God, amazing. I mean, you guys know this all. It's 3 years on from when I first went vegan. When I first went vegan, wow, I mean, it was nothing compared to like the proper vegans in the 70s. But there was like one place that did a vegan pizza, and if somewhere in the UK had a vegan burger, everybody knew about it. And now you go in restaurants and it's just all there. It's so easy. There's vegan restaurants popping up all over the place. There's options everywhere. KFC are bringing out a vegan burger. What a time to be alive. So this is so important. When you first go vegan, you've got to find some recipes. You've got to think about what is your favorite types of food, and then just veganify it. Literally just Google, my favorite food, vegan. And all these recipes will come up. It is so easy. You can have whatever you want. And I definitely recommend making all your favorite foods first. Don't be all like, oh, I'm gonna be really healthy and Lou says we eat nothing but like beans and lettuce. No, go in for the good stuff. Go for the stuff that makes you happy. That's the stuff that's gonna keep you going. Only thing I will say is that the replacement meats and the replacement cheeses aren't good for you. I mean, so much of it isn't. My favorite stuff is all the junk food, so none of it's really that good for you. When I first went vegan, I got fat because, again, I went cold turkey. I was like, oh, I guess I'll eat nothing but salad. And then slowly I discovered vegan ice cream, and I would never just sit and have a tub of ice cream at home. But when I found out there was vegan ice cream, there was just zero guilt. I didn't even care about putting on calories. I was like, oh my God, it's good. It's vegan, so I can just have it. And then just kept on eating all this junk food just because it was vegan and I got quite fat. I mean, I think I'd do it again. If I went vegan again, I think I'd get fat again. And I think I'd enjoy all the junk food first. And then I'd be like, okay, I've put on some weight. Let's Google some healthy recipes. Let's see how to do this properly. Start phasing out some of that fake cheese and that fake meat a bit. Not completely, but you know, have it as a treat, not a staple. Another little cheat in terms of food is that some vegans eat mussels and oysters. The debate is that it's not vegan because it's animal protein and that's all you need to know. The other debate is that they don't have a nervous system, so it's not possible for them to feel pain, and that harvesting them, if they're rope grown, not if they're trawled, is actually good for the environment because they're filter feeders. Make your own decision. I don't really eat them like regularly or anything like that, but if I'm in a restaurant and there's no options but they have mussels, I'll eat the mussels, it's just easy. But then you have to ask for no dairy as well, check there's no dairy. But anyway, moral of the story is you're not gonna go hungry. You can eat everything and anything. You're gonna be fine. Number 4, vitamin B12. So, what I would recommend anyway is that, again, you're overhauling your entire diet. You're not gonna know what to eat, like it's all completely brand new to you. So I would really recommend getting some supplements for everything, you know, just look up all the supplements you should be having as a human and then just take all of those, because that means that when you're experimenting with all this junk food and getting fat like I was, you're still healthy, you know, you don't have to worry about meeting all of your needs because it's covered. And then, you know, when you sort of settle down and get into it and feel more comfortable and you can get more into the healthier side of vegan food, then you can start phasing them out because you're like, oh no, I'm definitely like getting enough of that and getting enough of that. But you know, it's just better to be on the safe side rather than making yourself feel a bit poorly. Now, the other one is vitamin B12. So vitamin B12 is a mineral found in the soil. And we used to get it because we would just pull a carrot out of the ground and eat it with little traces of soil on. But now, because we use so many pesticides, we have to be super hygienic and like scrub all the soil off. It's not healthy to leave it on there unless you're growing it yourself at home and you know exactly what's in it. So the other way that we can get it is when cows eat grass and then we eat them, we can get B12 like that. The B12 doesn't come from the animal, they've got it from the soil. But a lot of cows don't eat grass. In the UK, they eat grass in the summer and then go into a barn. And in America, they're like so massively farmed. And you know, in England, there's like factory farming as well, where they're just fed grain. Then they don't have any B12, so they're given B12 supplements. So a lot of the people who are arguing like, oh, it's not a proper diet because you need supplements to survive on it, you're getting supplements too. We're all getting supplements for B12. None of us are eating soil anymore. And yeah, that's just life. That's just the way it is. So yeah, start taking your B12. As far as I'm aware, nobody's died of lack of B12. But you know, you need it. So I'd rather you did that than 8 handfuls of soil. Number 5. The hardest part of being vegan might be your friends and family's reactions. It definitely was for me because I went into the vegan world so quickly. I basically watched one documentary and was like, bam, I'm vegan. And I just thought it was going to be that easy for everybody else. I thought, oh, all my friends and family are such amazing, kind, beautiful human beings that they'll only need that one little snippet. They'll only need that one little snippet. They'll only need that one little snippet. Yeah, that made sense. And then bam, they'd go vegan too. But that didn't happen, you know. I'd give them these little tidbits of information, and if I was lucky, I could persuade them to let me show them a video, but none of them are vegan. And that was a really hard thing for me to come to terms with, because you almost start questioning, like, why don't you care? Like, what aren't you getting about this? And it just, I think one of the things for me as well is that, there's just this one video that really stuck with me. It was a video of a dairy farm in New Zealand, and they had dragged the calves away from their mother, and this guy started killing them all with, I think it was a sledgehammer or a hammer. And it's burnt on my eyes. I'll be able to see it forever. And just whenever I would see family members or friends eating dairy, I'd just be like, what are you doing? How could you do it to the cows? It took me so long to just accept it. Just, you know, accept that you're not going to be able to convert everyone, and you just got to give up. And some days I haven't accepted that. Some days I have a drink and I try again. But that's not the way to do it. It's just, you know, you gotta let things go. Your friends and family are still good people. They just, I don't know, they've been raised in a society that constantly told them it's okay, it's fine, it's okay, it's fine, it's okay, it's fine. And it's just hard to get rid of that suddenly, you know. For some people it's easier, for some people it's harder. I think this one is the most important. Number 6, be the vegan you wish you'd met before you went vegan. It is hard to come to terms with the fact that your loved ones will choose to keep on creating all of this pain and suffering and death and destruction. And it's so hard not to be that angry vegan. It's so hard not to be like, can't you see what you're doing? And like showing them all these things, but it's not gonna work. Like, you didn't go vegan because somebody like attacked you or was constantly judging you or constantly having a go at you. The people who really help other vegans are the people who are positive and happy. I'd get so bitter. I remember questions like, you know, you're not actually gonna make a difference, right? And it's just like, like, I'm trying so hard. Like, all of this is based on me making a difference. Like, don't just take that away from me. But that's not the person you can be. You can't be bitter, you can't be twisted. You have to be happy. You have to be there to answer people's questions if they ask them. And if people don't ask questions, don't bring it up. And if you want help with some of that positivity and biting your tongue and pretending that you're not mad as hell about everything that's going on, then number 7, Facebook groups are amazing. There are some really, really good ones out there. I think one of my favorite ones is Esther the Wonder Pig. I watched a TED Talk about her dads, and basically the story of Esther was 2 gay guys got this micro pig. I think they were even living in a city or something. And it was just supposed to be like a cute little teacup pig, and they were, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they were both meat eaters and they were both just normal people. And they fell in love with this little pig, and very quickly this little pig grew into an industrial, like, factory farmed pig. And she was enormous, and she was also intelligent and kind and sweet and beautiful, and they just loved her so much. And she was smarter than their dogs.
We had to start telling her to go outside, and you'd think that would be hard enough to undo months of toilet training. Not when you're dealing with an Esther. She had to add an entirely different layer of difficulty by fake peeing when we took her out. You see, we tried to teach her just like you do with a puppy. So we'd take her outside, tell her to go pee, we'd get really excited and give her a cookie when she did it. So when she started asking to go by herself, and more frequently, we thought that was amazing. Until we realized most of the time, she wasn't even peeing. She'd go out, face us, and squat for a few seconds, then come running for her cookie. She totally played us, and we felt like complete idiots compared to her sometimes.
And what I love about Esther's dads is that they didn't just immediately start screaming at everyone, oh my God, like all of these pigs in the farming industry are exactly like our Esther, and look at what you're doing to them. They're all beaten up and they're all sad and they're all miserable. And instead they were like, well, we didn't go vegan because somebody shouted at us. We went vegan because we fell in love with Esther. So let's just make the world fall in love with Esther. So their Facebook page is just like the happiest, warmest, most beautiful place in the whole world. And they barely even mention the V word. It's all just love and compassion. And they just hope that that plants a seed and then people go off and become vegan. And there are loads of other really good Facebook pages like that. In terms of groups, they are so polarizing. I think for me, Facebook groups were so important because I was the only one in the real world who was vegan. So I needed to go online for support and ideas and tips and all that sort of thing. And you'd find that there are 2 very distinct sort of Facebook groups. There are the groups where everyone is militant. And if you go on there and say, what do you do when you're drunk and want a cheeseburger because last night I caved? You know, something like that. Oh my God, they will tear you apart. They are so like vegan or die. Like there's no vegan-ish, it's just that. And that can be a really negative place to be because again, it's like step one, you're not living up to that perfection, so you may as well just quit, and that's not what it's about. Keep on looking, because there are Facebook groups out there that are lovely and warm, and they are open to vegetarians and pescatarians, as long as you are on the path to veganism. Like, it's not a place to debate if you should be vegan or not, but as long as you're on your way and you're taking those baby steps, people will support you and be nice to you. So yeah, they can be amazing for support and help and advice and everything else. Oh, humor pages as well, meme pages. Oh my God, they give me life. Like, when you go out into the world and someone's like, oh, you're not even making a difference, what's the point? And you're just like, feel so defeated. And you just feel so defeated. And then you go on Facebook and there's a meme with that exact argument, because everybody says the same stuff. And it's just like, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one. Oh, it's such a good feeling. Vegan sidekick. Oh my God. I love it. It gives me life. Oh, it makes me so happy. I love it so much. But I don't think I could share it with my meat eater friends. I don't think they'd find it funny. It's a very like in group. Number 8, you will have bad days. There are just gonna be days where it's tricky. You're gonna fail, you're gonna fall off the bandwagon. The important thing is to get yourself back on. And what I found is that if I had a bad day and then that would maybe lead into a bad week, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I've barely been vegan. That's the time to put on a vegan film, reconnect with your morals. Like, why are you doing this? Is it for your health? Is it for the planet? Is it for the animals? Like, find your why. Why are you doing this? And then go and seek more of that, because it's never ending. There's a never ending amount of information out there. And what I found is that to help get rid of those bad days and those cheat days and where it was too tricky, is I would regularly watch something. So if I watched a vegan documentary or film or something every month, every 2 months, that'd sort of give me enough juice to get me through, you know, the next time I was drunk and really wanted a chicken mayo burger, and then I'd be there at the till and I'd have recent images of chickens in my mind, and I'd be like, oh God, no, actually, no, forget it, it's not worth it. You know, you'd need that inflow of reminders, because it is easy to forget, you know, like you're on the internet, you see all these things, you're like, yeah, I can totally do this, and you go out into the real world and everybody else is just doing what they want and having fun, and you want to join in. You need that reminder. Oh, another really good one is get involved with like local vegan events, get some vegan friends, go to like farm sanctuaries, and oh, there are so many events now that just didn't exist. Like, there are whole fairs and whole things. And if you're really keen, you can get involved on vegan activism as well. So many ways to meet people and get involved now. I'll link some documentaries below. I think the most important ones that everybody has to watch are Earthlings and Cowspiracy. They were two for me that just, they never go away, you know, those images just stay there. And if you're going down the animal activist route, Blackfish in the Cove, also really good. Weird little interim, but I went vegan because of Blackfish. Like, that was, I truly thought that SeaWorld loved their orcas. I truly, truly thought that they were living the best life and it was such a fun place. And when I watched that documentary, it was just the first time I realized that companies lie for profit and profits come before animals. And that just shattered my world. Like, everything I don't know, that was it. I was like, oh, people don't care about animals. So then when I'd see more things, I'd be like, well, yeah, it makes sense, people don't care about animals. Just everything made so much more sense. So yeah, thanks Blackfish. Saved more than just the orcas, saved quite a few cows and everything else now. Number 9, you will have so many more good days than you do bad days. I've really highlighted in this video that there will be times where you won't really feel up to it and you will slip up and it'll all go wrong. And those do happen, but there are so many other times when you will find a new vegan ice cream and do a happy dance, or you will have your first vegan sushi, or there are gonna be so many new little moments. You go to a farm sanctuary for the first time and pet a pig. And it is not just a diet. It definitely wasn't a diet for me. I got fat at the start. But it really isn't. It's like a whole lifestyle change. I'm trying to find a way around saying I'm woke now. But I'm sort of woke now, like in the most normal way possible. It opens your eyes to so many more things. It's sort of the same as like Blackfish opened my eyes, and then veganism happened, and then once veganism happens, you're sort of more open to zero waste, and then you're more open to animal activism and protesting and volunteering, and it just opens the door to like this whole new world of doing good things and feeling good about it. It's a really empowering feeling when you really start to get the hang of it, and you realize that you're actually having an impact, like you're actually leaving the world a better place than you found it. And number 10, never forget what a massive difference you're making. It is so easy to underestimate the impact that one person can have, but it's really significant. So let me get up my notes here. This is from the Cowspiracy website. In 1 year, you can save 1.5 million litres of water, 1,000 square metres of forest, 365 animal lives, 6,600 kilograms of grain, and 3,300 kilograms of CO2. One of the things that people get hung up on is the 365 animal lives, and they're like, well, when I have a steak, that's not one whole cow. So that is measuring sea life as well as land animals. So yeah, when you include sea life, it really is an animal a day. It averages out. So yeah, I will leave a link below so that you can go on the calculator and figure out how much you've saved. Quick recap. Remember your why. Regularly remind yourself of your why with your vegan videos and documentaries and the such. Find your good recipes. Don't freak out about doing it all at once. When you're ready, the resources are there. You don't have to rush into it. And if you fall off the bandwagon, don't freak out. Just get back on. It's not a big deal. You're still a vegan. No matter what those militant vegans say. All right, there is that tweet. I eat meat, I'm a vegan, we exist. I don't want to say I agree with that tweet. But I'm just saying, you're allowed to get back on. I'll welcome you back even if nobody else does. Okay, that's how I'm going to end it. Bye. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I am brand new to YouTube, and if you could give me a little subscribe, that would be lovely, and I'll see you next week. Bye.